The story comes to us from the HoustonChronicle.com. We're going to talk about an arrest in Pasadena. No, it wasn't the little old lady from Pasadena. Going a little farther east to Pasadena, Texas, where a trio of Pasadena police officers told David Cardona he'd be going home. He passed his field sobriety test, but then when they asked him to take a breathalyzer, and David said, I need to make a phone call, one said, take him to jail. Wow. Didn't pass the attitude test, I guess. But 2 years after Cardona's arrest, the 27-year-old electrician is suing the Pasadena Police Department, arguing that the officers fabricated evidence to wrongfully arrest, jail, and prosecute him. His civil rights complaint, based in part on police recordings on the scene, says the officers willfully lied in police reports, sworn statements, and to judges and prosecutors at the Harris County District Attorney's Office. Cardona had twice been arrested previously on DWI charges and had his life upended by the trauma and daily deprivations of liberty inflicted by pending felony prosecution. But you're about to find out there's some questions with these officers. Pasadena, Texas Police Department's Internal Affairs Unit. The Internal Affairs Unit determined Cardona's allegations about a trumped-up arrest were substantiated by the evidence, according to documents. The Harris County District Attorney dropped the DWI charge. Did you hear that? The Internal Affairs Unit determined his allegations about a trumped-up arrest were substantiated by the evidence. Even Internal Affairs was like, wow, this was a bad arrest. That's almost never heard of, right? Cardona's defense attorney, Kenneth Mitchell, sought a public corruption investigation on the traffic stop, but DA Kim Ogg's office declined to pursue charges against the police officer, saying there was insufficient evidence, according to a letter Ogg's staff sent Mitchell. Kim Ogg usually doesn't take crap from bad officers. The Pasadena police chief said the officers who handled the stop were found to have violated department policies, and his staff ordered them to undergo retraining, but they were not demoted, disciplined, suspended, or terminated. So not only did Internal Affairs say, yeah, this was a bad arrest, according to the evidence. Yeah, it's substantiated. It's a bad arrest. The police chief says, oh yeah, they violated department policy. But they weren't demoted, disciplined, terminated, nor suspended. Normally they're suspended and pending the outcome of it. No, these guys are just out there doing their thing. Oh, they're going to get retraining. Don't do that again. They go back to school. You're going to be in a course this weekend. Ha! That's what they get for violating department policy and doing a trumped up arrest. Pasadena City Attorney's Office did not respond to a request for comment on the federal lawsuit. You're going to hear my heater. It's cold today. It's cold. During the traffic stop, Cardona agreed to a full battery of standardized field sobriety tests and completed them without showing any evidence of intoxication or impairment, per the lawsuit. The police were prepared to release him and gave him back his driver's license. Now, they told him he would be going home, but then a senior officer who wasn't present during the FST pushed for an additional breath test that wasn't required based on the lack of evidence. It was not required for him to do that. Because remember, they didn't find that he was intoxicated. He passed the FST. Cardona began asking questions and asked to make a phone call. Then the senior officer, Mark A. Ferguson, ordered the others to take him to jail, according to the allegations. Then the lawsuit alleges the three officers concealed the events of the traffic stop to justify the unilateral and unjustified decision to arrest Cardona, as well as to further retaliate against him. And then they did a sworn application for a blood extraction to a judge, false statements, and it goes on. I'll put a link to it in the description box so that you can read it in its entirety yourself. But the thing you point out here is, not only did Internal Affairs say, yeah, it was bad. The police chief said they violated department policy. What happens to them? You're going to sit through class for an hour.